Okay, we have our 7-minute mobility. So I'm just going to do this one shot. We're going 7 minutes, starting out from some neck rolls. So, big thing here is we're thinking about keeping the arms pressing down towards the ground to lock in those shoulders. And we're just drawing nice big circles with the neck. Take your time going through these. If you notice that one area is a little bit tighter than another, you can spend a little bit more time there. You can tell for me that as I'm going through these, my shoulders are moving a fair bit. And so just make sure that you're locking those shoulders down, pressing towards the ground. Do better than I am doing here. Next, we're going to come into some forward folds into extensions. So chin down to chest, rolling yourself forward, segmenting yourself back up, reaching up and back, and then repeating. None of this should be painful. We're only working in the range that you have available and that feels comfortable. So even if this extension isn't much at all, that's fine. We're just opening up that front line, opening up the abs, the quads, the front of the hips, and a little bit through the shoulders. So everything here is nice and easy, gentle, and just working at opening up the spine, the hips, getting everything moving and feeling good. After we finished our extensions and flexions, we're going to come into some lateral flexion. So legs are a little bit wide. We're going to go side to side. Big key here is that we want the hips to move in the opposite way to what we're side bending. So hands overhead, long reach over and get those hips to shoot over the other way. We should feel a nice stretch down the side of the body, anywhere from the lats, the hips, the back. All of that are good places to feel this. We don't want to be feeling any pain in the neck, in the knee, no sharp pains in the hip, and especially any pinching in the hip. But after we do a few reps there, we're going to open up the front of the hips a bit further. So nice long lunge here. We want to think about keeping that back leg as straight as we can. Don't lose your balance. So back leg as straight as we can, and we're just coming in and out in a comfortable range. Shouldn't be sore at the front knee. If it is, you can take a little bit of a wider step. But from here, we're going to hold in that bottom position and hit some archers. So one arm comes forward, one arm draws back, and we're keeping that back leg in extension, so we're still holding that front hip stretch. We're going to come into some Cossack squats to open up the groin. So just nice and easy side to side. We can stay nice and low through the transition here if that feels okay on the hips. If it doesn't, you can come up in between and rock side to side, but this is opening up the groin, inside thighs to create some space. Switching legs back into these low lunges. Again, I could probably do a better job here keeping that back leg straight, but we're searching for that stretch at the front of the hip. No pain in the knee, no pain in the back. Now back into our archers, holding that front hip stretch and rotating. We're trying to get those shoulder blades moving and rolling. We're opening up the thoracic spine by getting some rotation. We know that rotation is coupled with extension, so this should help to open up your mid-back a fair bit. After these, hold on to a wall. We've got some hip controlled articular rotations, or CARs. Now the main thing here is we want to be fairly slow. I'm probably rushing these a little bit, but we want to be fairly slow. We're thinking about keeping the heel pulled up towards the bum, so we want to keep that 90-degree angle at the knee, and we're just coming around and creating big circles from the hip. Key thing to note is that we don't want to be moving too much from the back, so the back should stay relatively in one space as we come around. So especially in that transition from forwards to around, really try to lock in that low back. We'll do a few on one side and then switching over to the other. Same thing, hip as high as you can, come out the side, rotate it around and down, and then reverse it, coming backwards, over and around. Normal to get some clicking and clunking in the hips a little bit here. None of it should be overly painful, but just listen to your body. If things are sore, just reduce the amount of range that you're going through. So knee a little bit less high, less out to the side, less coming backwards, etc. Should really only be feeling this through the hip, not too much through the back. Great. Now for our last stretch, we're coming up on the end of it. We are going to do what's called a bretzel. So lie on your side with your top leg over. You're going to grab your bottom leg. So we're hitting a quad stretch, and we're also hitting a little bit of glutes here. Now, you might not be able to see it in the video, but from this position, I am trying to breathe in deep and breathe out, getting my bottom shoulder, or the shoulder that's holding the quad, the ankle, down to the ground. So every breath in and every breath out, we're trying to get a little bit deeper through here. And we're feeling this anywhere from the bottom quad to hip, the top glute, a little bit in the low back, a little bit in the upper back. We're going to take about 10 breaths, trying to get a little bit deeper, and then switch. Same position here, bretzel. Now, if this is super uncomfortable, if your head isn't comfortable and you have to feel like you have to keep it up, you can put a pillow underneath. Likewise, with that top knee, if that cannot stay down, we can put something under the knee to prop that up. But this is a great position to hit a little bit of everything and get some length. And most importantly is to check in with your breathing. So after you do about 10 breaths here, we're going to pop up, and that's it. 7 minutes of daily mobility done. Great job. Do it again tomorrow. See ya.